Welcome back. Releasing her first album at the age of a tender 12, Luan Parle's music has made her a household name.
Working with some of the top producers and musicians in the industry, Luan has had a string of hits over the years, along with picking up many accolades. Before we have a chat to her in studio, let's have a look at Luan's latest single release, You're Not Here.
The house stands cold and empty and looks so lonely in a way that only I can feel. And with every breath I take, I see the walls around me, but there's no one here to save me. I'm holding on to something I should have buried yesterday, and I feel like I'm drowning.
I was more excited about the fact that the video was filmed in Enniscorthy.
That's right. Don't look so shocked.
Your neck of the woods.
Indeed.
Keeping it local. Good morning to you.
How are you?
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can we go back? Because I hadn't realised, I knew you started your singing career very early, but I didn't realise you were signed at 12.
12, yeah. It's mad when I think back now.
And the whole, we were having a chat about this earlier on, the whole way that record companies do business now is totally different.
So different. I mean, like when I look back when I was 12, and even you know, getting sending a song, you know, you'd send it on cassette tape, and now it's just email and everything is so instant, and you know, it's so different now, and the way people buy music, it's not really.
And the way you would have been managed by record companies as well.
Absolutely, and I think I'm even more conditioned that way of thinking, but you know, like if you think about it now, where do you hear music? It's Spotify, it's streaming, it's I mean, I love an album. I still love to go into the shop and buy an album. But yeah, no, you're right. It's so different.
We'll get on to your current tour and latest album that's coming up. But you were, in fact, a child prodigy. As we heard, like, there was the Late Late Toy Show at 12.
Yeah.
But take a look at this.
Oh, God.
That's so cute.
Do you know, my friend Eva doesn't know that was going to be shown, so she's going to be delighted herself. She's the one playing the guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you are now.
You were
Aoife.
6.
I was 6, yeah.
Where was that?
That was in the Grand Hotel in Wicklow, and would you believe I still remember getting ready for it and putting that little outfit on and being in my mum's room and the excitement, and I didn't win, of course. I didn't get anything. It was a talent competition. Yeah, I just loved to sing. And
it was the beginning of it all.
That was the
wasn't it?
beginning. I think that was probably. I used to sing in church as well, but that was around all the first kind of.
And you play both the guitar and the piano, we saw there.
Yeah, guitar would be my main instrument, but I would write a lot, you know, on the piano. It just kind of gives a different shape to songs, you know.
But you opened for Elton John at the Hammersmith Apollo for 3 nights.
3 nights.
I mean, you had a relationship with Elton John where he'd buy you presents and stuff for Christmas.
I was signed to Elton John's management label, and yeah, he bought me some lovely gifts. One was an 8-track recorder, which I suppose now when you think of your iPhone, but I mean at the time it was, you know, such a lovely present. And yeah, I used to go to his Christmas parties, and he's actually a lovely man.
Is he lovely?
Really lovely, and he was always very lovely to me, and he gave me some great opportunities, and amazing opportunity, you know, to open for him. So yes.
Was it too much profile? Was it too much attention all of a sudden? Were you prepared for it?
For me, maybe so when it did. You see, I was a child that. I signed my first record deal when I was 12, so I was introduced to that life very, very young. And it is a very tough industry. I loved to sing, and that's why I did it. But
did you miss out on formal education? Like you
no,
continued,
I never did.
You continued on in
I continued
school?
with my schooling,
Okay.
so I never did. Like I would have recorded the album throughout the summer, and it's all I ever wanted to do was because, you know, I love to perform. But I think I was very much introduced to because it is very much an industry. It's the music industry. As a 12-year-old, you don't know anything about the industry, you know. So I quickly learned.
You've had 3 albums, is that right?
Let's see now. God, there's so the first one was First Impressions. The next one was Free. There's also an album that I recorded in the States with a Grammy-winning producer called Bill Bottrell that has never seen the light of day. And I do hope one day that will, be released. There's also loads of work. There's about 100 songs recorded from my days with Sony, travelling back and forth to London. So I think at that point there was huge kind of hype, and you could be right with that.
And it's difficult to live up to the expectations when a record company are managing your career, telling you where to go, where to be, what to wear. Was there a lot of that?
From the time I was very young, I was very much exposed, if you want to say the word, to all of that. And I went independent in 2010, just before my dad got sick. And I think that was a really good thing for me to do, because for the first time ever, nobody was telling me what to wear, nobody was telling me what to sing. And it was great, if I didn't want to go somewhere, be somewhere, I just didn't go. I didn't, well, if I was scheduled to be there, of course I would. But, if I didn't want to make that decision to be there.
So you took how many years out to mind your dad and to be
Well,
with
I
your
never,
dad?
I mean, sometimes it looks like I disappeared off the face of the earth, but, I was still involved in music. I was still doing songwriting workshops and the odd gig here and there, but not kind of so publicly. So my dad had the massive stroke, and that was a big shock to all of us.
Of course.
Especially me, I'm the only daughter. So, and then my dad was a musician. We travelled a lot together. So that was a big shock. He was in hospital for 8 months, and I was pretty much there every day, as we all were. And then we brought my dad home, and I know he's watching today, so I'll say hello. And he's a great man. He's got an amazing spirit and amazing determination.
He must have been very proud when you won the Meteor Award and all the other awards.
That was a great night.
Yeah.
I remember it still like it was yesterday. My mum and dad, of course, were there on the night, and I do remember the after-show party. The champagne was flowing and everything. I know my dad was like, he was dying for a cup of tea, like any Irish dad.
Such a Wicklow thing, yeah.
It's an Irish parent thing, isn't it? Would there be any chance of a cup of tea? But you've learned a lot from your dad's courage. I know you took some time out, but I know you look back on that as the right thing to have done. You were around for your dad, and I suppose that's more important than any business deal or any opportunity.
Yeah, and it gave me a different outlook on the music industry, because I think before, sometimes I kind of think, I didn't really appreciate it because I was so young when it happened. And then when I did take the time out, it made me, I just had a completely different outlook and a kind of a new appreciation for it. And
So finally, tell us about your tour.
So my tour, yes. So on tour at the minute, very excited. Whelan's, Clears in Kilkenny is Friday night. Whelan's then is on Saturday night in Dublin. Then we're down to Coughlin's in Cork. On the 14th, I'm visualising them all. Then we're Evoca, Connery and Evoca, The Stole and Donegal and Sligo. So that's all happening in April, and then May, then I head to the States. So really excited, and I'm sure with Clive Barnes. So it's great to be touring.
Luan Parle is back.
Oh, yay.
Delighted to see it.
Thank you.
Delighted to see it.
Thank you so much.
Success.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, up next, what foods should you be eating to boost your fertility? We'll have the answers in 3 minutes' time.